Samantha Walker stood in front of the cracked mirror in her bedroom, holding her breath as she adjusted the dress. It wasn't new, and it wasn't perfect, but it was hers. A soft cream fabric that brushed against her knees, with delicate beadwork she had sewn herself over the last 2 weeks. Each bead sparkled faintly in the light from her small desk lamp. Her hands lingered on the hem, feeling the uneven stitches. This wasn't just a dress, it was a quiet promise to herself that today, graduation day, would be different. For months, she had been the new girl at Lincoln High. The outsider. The one who didn't know the cafeteria rules, who didn't know which hallway to avoid, who didn't know you never sat in the middle row of the bleachers because that was where Madison Blake and her clique held court. She had transferred here halfway through senior year when her father's job forced the family to relocate again. She had learned not to get too attached to places or people, but that didn't stop the sting when she realized she didn't belong here either. It wasn't that she was shy. Samantha could speak up when she needed to. But she had learned that speaking up in the wrong crowd could make you a target. And at Lincoln High, she had quickly become one. Madison and her two shadows, Chloe and Brianna, made sure of that. They mocked her thrift store shoes, whispered insults in the hallway, and once accidentally spilled orange juice all over her notebook. She had smiled politely, walked away, and told herself it didn't matter. But it did. Still, today was supposed to be hers. Her parents had taken the day off work, proud and beaming, ready to watch their daughter walk across the stage. They didn't know about the bullying. Samantha didn't want to spoil their pride with stories of cruelty. By the time she reached the school auditorium, the air was already electric. Families shuffled into the rows, murmuring and taking pictures. The graduates gathered backstage, chatting, adjusting caps, checking hair. Samantha kept to the edge, her clutch purse in one hand, the other hand smoothing her dress. She saw Madison almost immediately. Blonde, polished, with a smirk that never quite left her lips. Chloe and Brianna flanked her like bodyguards, their identical curled hair bouncing as they whispered and laughed. Madison's gaze swept the backstage area until it landed on Samantha. The smirk deepened. Samantha turned away. She would not let them ruin this. She stared at the polished wooden floor, rehearsing the moment in her mind, her name called, her steps measured and graceful, her diploma in hand. She would smile. She would be the picture of grace. But as the ceremony drew nearer, she felt it. That prickling awareness that she was being watched. Madison's quiet snicker. Chloe's pointed glance. Brianna's exaggerated eye roll. Samantha's chest tightened. They were called to line up. Samantha's row began moving toward the stage entrance. Her heart thumped in her ears, but she kept her chin up. And then, a sharp tug from behind. The unmistakable sound of tearing fabric. The world slowed. Samantha's eyes fell to her dress. A jagged tear ripped upward from the hem, beads scattering across the floor like fallen stars. Gasps and muffled laughter filled the air. "Oh no," Madison's voice rang out, dripping with mock concern. "Looks like some dresses just can't handle the spotlight." Chloe and Brianna erupted into giggles. Samantha froze. The humiliation was instant and sharp, like stepping barefoot on broken glass. This was supposed to be her moment. Instead, she stood there, exposed, humiliated, her dream unraveling, literally, at the seams. For a moment, she thought about running. She could hide in the bathroom, wait it out, let her parents think she had tripped or gotten sick. She could disappear, like she had done so many times before. But then her gaze found them. Her parents, in the front row, unaware of the scene backstage. Her mom held up her phone, ready to record. Her dad was waving proudly, his eyes shining. They had sacrificed so much to give her opportunities. They believed in her. Something inside her shifted. She turned slowly, meeting Madison's eyes. Her voice was low but steady. "You shouldn't have done that." Madison laughed. "Or what? You gonna cry?" What happened next would replay in whispers for weeks. Madison reached out to shove her, but Samantha sidestepped with precision, grabbing Madison's wrist. In one smooth motion born of years of martial arts training with her grandfather, she twisted, redirecting the force, sending Madison stumbling forward with a startled yelp. Chloe lunged at her, but Samantha pivoted, her leg sweeping upward in a controlled, lightning-fast kick that connected with Chloe's thigh. Chloe dropped to the floor, gasping in pain. Brianna froze mid-step, eyes wide. The laughter was gone. The backstage air was heavy and silent. Samantha's gaze swept over them, calm but firm. This is the last time you mess with me, or anyone else. Madison, breathless and pale, raised her hands. Okay. We're sorry. Without another word, Samantha smoothed her torn dress as best she could and stepped toward the stage entrance. She didn't care about the rip anymore. She didn't care that her hem was uneven or that her beads were gone. She walked out into the light, her steps steady, head high. The audience clapped, unaware of the storm that had just passed backstage. Samantha took her diploma, smiled for the camera, and walked back down the steps. After the ceremony, as she made her way through the crowd, a girl from her history class touched her arm. I saw what you did, she said quietly. Thank you, for standing up to them. Samantha realized it wasn't just about her anymore. She had shown others, people who had been silent, people who had been afraid, that they could stand too. That night, she placed her torn dress carefully in her closet. Not as a reminder of cruelty, but as proof that she could rise above it. The dress might have been ripped, but her spirit was unbreakable. Final message to viewers. If you've ever been bullied, remember, you have the right to stand tall. Strength doesn't always mean fighting with fists, it means refusing to let anyone steal your dignity. Speech balloon comment below. Have you ever had a moment when you stood up for yourself or someone else? Share it, I'd love to hear your story. Thumbs up like this video if Samantha's courage inspired you. Loudspeaker subscribe to my channel, be kind always for more stories that prove kindness is strength. And remember, be kind always, because you never know the battles someone is fighting.